wait for this to like be up for a minute or so. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, so naming your file is easy. Alright, so once you start the game, there's a cutscene here. You just want to press start over and over again, skip it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to roll to the right here. And you want to go over here, right? This is just the route, essentially. You want to go to Epona. One thing I should mention before I say anything else is that you can store inputs, like I'll show it here. I'm going to be already holding forward and A going into this cutscene, with this, this loading zone, and I'll roll immediately coming out of it as well. So, basically, whenever you're coming out of some sort of cutscene or loading zone, you can have that, and that's actually really important for later. You'll want to remember that. There's another cutscene here. Now, unfortunately, we can't roll to Epona here because Ilya wants to talk to us, which is dumb. One thing you can kind of do, although I don't do it, is you can turn around, and if you, like, press A... Let's see if I can get it. It's not super easy, but you can, like, save half a second by doing this. You, like, do a roll before you roll. It's weird. I forget exactly how it works. Yeah, okay, there you go. So, basically, you hold down and then turn up at the last second. Like right after you press A. You hold down, press A, and then do that, and you can save a little time. It's kind of cool. I don't know. That's just something. So basically, like there's just like, you can roll before you roll, basically. So like I'm holding up when I press roll and then like changing my direction before. Just kind of interesting. I don't know. Anyways. That's like half a second. Shouldn't dwell on it. Let's get to like some of the more interesting stuff. Like controlling Epona. Epona's annoying. Although she feels different this morning. It's weird. It's like she became standard definition Epona overnight or something. Because, anyways. So there's a cutscene there, basically, and you can walk off that hill. You want to get as many rubies as you can here. That's why I tried to get some of the grass back there. But there's 3 guaranteed ones in Ordon. You ideally want 5. Okay, so you go up here, you talk to the goat herd. Okay, so there's a couple ways to do goats for both of the methods. I'm going to show the easier route because it's easier. But yeah, basically you go left, then you get these guys, and then you go to the right of these guys. And if you do that right, then they should all go the way you want them to. Ideally you get these guys in before you go to the one on the left, and it saves a little time. Alright. But yeah, that's goats in a nutshell. We'll get the goats 2 later. That one's a little bit more complicated and annoying. You can lose more time on that one, but this one isn't too bad. I should talk about text mashing. So there's a couple ways you can mash text, and I use both of them occasionally. But you can do this where you're like mashing A and B like back and forth. I don't think that's as effective though. So I'll show what I do in a second. Alright, so there's a save prompt here, and you have to press A again after the say no. So there's a cutscene. Alright, so you can just, like, as soon as you hear Link do the 4th step on the ladder, you can go through there. And in here, I think you can just spam A until you get to the door. Anyways, so I'm going to store a forward and A right here, so that I jump over the ladder. Yeah, don't Z-target or anything. Roll past the kids. Right, I was going to talk about... Okay, so before I go anywhere, you see what I'm doing right now? On the controller? Okay, so... it's basically a different type of text matching. So ZR and A do generally the same thing, right? Except ZR, you can use your index finger on while you use your thumb on B. And you don't have to, like, move how you're holding the controller that much. So basically, B pretty much speeds up the text boxes, and ZR advances them, as far as I remember. So basically, you want to, like, alternate between them as fast as possible. And you can do that, like, just lazily going back and forth between them. But what I do is, I'll take my thumb and index finger and lay them so that they're on the buttons they're supposed to be pressing, right? Where, like, my index finger is kind of at the bottom of ZR and my thumb is on B, and I'll, like, have them touching that but not pressing yet, and so then I just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth like that. So I just hold it in place, and if you just move really fast, you can do this, which actually works pretty well. So it tends to be faster and more comfortable than A and B mashing. Okay, so you can mash through that guy's text. Yeah, what we're doing right now is we're basically trying to get the slingshot, which is in here, but there's like a bunch of fetch quests you have to do. And so we're gonna go over here and grab some rupees, because we need them anyways. But the monkey is the first part of the quest we gotta do. So we basically get this bird. So there's something interesting about this. Like, aiming here, and then, like, aim over here. Well, I did it wrong, but maybe it's just when you, like, first pull up the hawk. But basically, the hawk will be, like, where you aim, the hawk will lag behind a little. Not as much as I'm trying to show here. But basically, you want to kind of aim at the monkey, but you want to over-aim just a little. So, like, from where you are, so see how it's, like, not quite where I was aiming? It's a little bit further to the right. Anyways, there's usually a pretty big radius that you can do for the hawk to work, though, so you don't have to aim that much. Okay, and you just jump across the house here, and we can conveniently just jump straight down here. And we're walking over to this woman. This is Colin's mom, I think. Okay, so we span through texts. Okay, so we need to get the 30 rupees. Also, you can throw that right before this cutscene. Get the fishing rod here. And we need to get to 30 rupees, so we only have 8 right now, so it's kind of a problem. Right? But something we can do is basically you can roll over here, which I didn't do because I didn't get here in time. Maybe I can, like, try to show it off. Of course, now she wants to talk to me. Anyways, you roll over here, basically, and you want to jump onto this mailbox. It takes a little practice, but basically you just... I find that if you get the roll to about... Nice, I got it. When you get the roll to, like, about here, even when the camera's facing the way it is, it's pretty easy to just jump onto here. So that's what I tried to do. And then you just roll jump onto here. So there's a little bit of this ledge you can grab. And conveniently, there's 20 rupees back here. So that's why we're going back here. And you want to equip the fishing rod in the air there. So you'd already have items, the item tab pulled up. And then you, like, roll when you land. This is just a bunch of, like, moving things that I do, I guess. It's not really necessary to talk about. And then I pull out the fishing rod here. Anyways, so depending on if you got extra rupees at the beginning, you'll have anywhere between like 40 rupees right here and like 28 if you got all the 3 that you were supposed to get. And so basically you'll see that there's 3 rubies here. There's one here, one that you can kind of see over by the house, and then one to the right of the house over there. And we're gonna grab 2. I think the fastest is this one and then this one. And then we fish. Fishing's pretty easy. You just, as soon as you see the bobber move, you just pull R and you press R and you pull back on the control stick and you just hold that. You do it a couple times and it's not hard at all. Alright, and thankfully in this game, you don't have to fish twice for the cat. So, yeah, we just fish once, and then we roll over to get some milk. He's swum a couple times. Alright, so I just Z target and then immediately tech smash to get this bottle. And then for this next part, I actually A and B mash, because the thing about A and B mashing is that if you just keep pressing A, like, it won't advance you through item shop. Like, here, let me try to show you. See how that just happened? I was just tech smashing everything, and it advanced me through the shop with ZR and B. If I were to do that pressing, like, A and B, see how I'm pressing A right now? It doesn't advance me through this. So this is what I want. So basically I press A and B, and then I start just only pressing A, and it goes through these pretty fast. Is this going to be on YouTube? Yeah, I'm going to upload this later, but, well, I might just have it on my Twitch, but it's going to be available later, for sure. I'm just walking through stuff slowly, I'm sorry. Anyways, so, and then you can just, like, spam right, and as soon as you get to the slingshot, you just press A and B, since your hands are already that way. Here you want to press B and then spam A. Just B backs you out of the menu. Anyways, normally when I'm walking out of the shop, I'll go ahead and equip the slingshot, but if you don't get it, you can, like, equip it while rolling here. That's one of the nice things about HD, is that you can equip stuff while rolling around. It's also one of the terrible things about HD, because it means that you feel like you're gonna mess up your rolls, and sometimes you do when you're equipping stuff, but it's still better than having to pause and do, like, an item wheel or something. You just shoot this guy. We're not talking to the kids yet, because there's 2 tutorials they want us to do. Because for some reason this game has a slingshot tutorial, which is humorous. But you want to do them both at the same time. It's a little bit faster. It doesn't actually waste that much time, though, if you talk to them early, I think. It's still, like, a few seconds, probably. Okay, so we store forward and A again. This time just hold a little bit more to the left than last time. That way we'll jump towards the kids and then just press A. So I'm talking a lot about movement because this game is, like, a lot of movement. Anyways, so you can just Z target. You can store a Z target and then just spam Y here. And then just do it again. And you just want to, like, aim at all 5 of these targets. You'll get used to it. It just takes a while. Okay. This next one, I do tech smashing, then, like, spam B, then tech smashing while holding forward and spam B. Because it's slash and then stab. And then now this is the spin, which is kind of hard, so you wait a little bit, do a spin, and then just spam A after tech smashing. I mean, it's going kind of fast there, but that's how I generally do it. Anyways, alright. So now we see the monkeys, so we're gonna go do the monkey quest, I guess. If I had save files hooked up, I could skip this part, but I don't. And I don't think there are save files this early in the game, so we'll just go through this. There's a couple things to talk about anyways, so when you're on a horse, you want to, like, manage stamina so that you don't have to refill stamina. There's not much I can say about, like, when you use the spurs, though. You just kind of gotta figure it out. Okay, so right here, if you do what I do, wait for the second spur to come up, and then press that. Now you can just, like, stop holding a direction and spam A to talk to this guy without having to slow down. If you get 3 spurs and use all of those... So the important thing is essentially that you run out of spurs before you start spamming A. Otherwise you'll dash instead of talking to the guy. And so that works conveniently with having 2 spurs, but if you have 3 and you run out of all of them, then you'll be going too fast and you'll actually jump straight over Koro. Anyways, it saves like a second or so. I'm gonna equip this torch while turning around. Or lantern, not torch, whatever. I think I'm gonna try to go through, like, Master Sword today, in terms of the tutorial, by the way. I might get further. Actually, you shouldn't put the lantern away there. There's, like, a few frames to take out the lantern, basically. So if you just keep it out, then it's a little bit faster. It's just, you gotta time the, like, rolling into the web, or whatever. That's another thing you just get used to. So now we're just rolling along. We gotta grab this key, which is up here. Okay, I guess I should talk about the most effective way to deal damage to bokoblins. So if you could think full combo, right, and, like, just B attack, right, but you really want to do single slashes like that. You don't actually have to kill this guy. I'm just showcasing, like, how you do damage to bokoblins. It's faster, because if you do combos, you'll end up just, like, knocking them down, usually, if they have enough health. And, they won't die like you want them to, because you'll have to do finishing blow, which wastes time, or wait for them to get back up before they're vulnerable again, which also wastes time. I mean, we skip most of the bokoblins, but there's some that we have to kill, so I think it's worth mentioning. Alright, so we go ahead and get our sword out here, just for optimized movement, I guess. Taking out your sword takes a little bit of time, so... You know, we try not to do it a ton. We can kind of jump slash, like, right here to go a little bit further before the cutscene here starts. Okay, so these are bokoblins we have to kill. You can, like, actually just break the cage first if you want. It's just that Tallow and the monkey won't be free until you kill these bokoblins. So we just stand here and then do 4, like, quick individual slashes, kill them both. And you can usually do a jump spin there, but I suck because I was too far away. Yeah, usually you get a little closer there and the jump spin would reach all the way around to the back. Oh, I should talk about jump spins, shouldn't I? And quick spins, really. Alright, I'll do that in a second since I have some time. So, essentially... I mean, people know how to jump slash, right? You just have your sword out. And jump attack. Like, you literally just press A while targeting, right? Okay, so now do that, but watch my controller. My left stick spins around. I do a spin attack as soon as I land. You don't even have to press B or anything. One thing you can do is you can backflip, and if you press B and do the quick spin, then you'll pull out your sword in midair and do the quick spin. I do that once in the run, but otherwise you can, like, not have to press B if you want to. Quick spinning, you just do a circle with Link and then press B. So circle and control stick B. You definitely want to know how to quick spin if you're going to do this run. That's another thing, it takes a little practice. Okay, so 20 goats. You actually... This is a similar strategy to the first goats. You go left, you keep going left, but then you just loop back around. It's basically the same strategy as the other goats, but there are more goats this time. And then you just, like, loop back through and clean up everything you missed. And if you do it well, you should get, like, 20 seconds. Took me a little longer because I stood there for a few seconds. Anyways. So now we have a wolf section coming up, so it's just like a bunch of little movement things. It's nothing too crazy. There's not a lot for me to talk about, unfortunately. I mean, I could skip to Foreign Twilight if I wanted to, I guess, but I kind of just want to go through the rest of this. It doesn't take too long, so... Alright. There's like something you can do with the box at the start, and I'll try to pull it off, and I'll see if I can get it. There's a tutorial on how to do it. I'll try to explain how to do it. Basically, there's a box that guards where you're, like, that you have to break to get out of your, like, little prison as wolf, and you can do it while you're still chained up. You can break that, but, it's not super easy. Anyways, so we're gonna try to do that. So you just skip cutscene. There's gonna be a save prompt here. There's usually a save prompt whenever you finish dungeons as well. Alright, so we're gonna dash forward. B 3 times, and then hold left. And if you do it right, then you'll break the box. I unfortunately missed. The timing was really good, though. Let me just, like, go up and break the box. If you miss it, it's not that bad. There's another cutscene here. Okay. I guess there's something I should talk about right here. Maybe just another little movement thing with Wolf. You can, like, drop off ledges if you're not holding a direction on the control stick when you, like, walk off because you have enough speed. I messed it up there because I'm an idiot, but I'll have another chance to show it off later. Like, you just gotta stop holding forward on the control stick, like, right before you get there. There's a little bit of input delay on this game. Also, yeah, you can target and grab these things, like, during a dash and from down on the ground. It's kind of nice. Like, Link's target range is really long in HD. I think that's something they changed. So we can, like, jump from across here, which is pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, if you press A too fast there without turning around, you'll grab the skull, which wastes time. Don't do that. Cutscene here. Alright, I'm gonna show something, and I'm gonna aim for it. But you wouldn't aim for this in runs, you just jump up and do it. Alright, there's a cutscene here. Okay, so you see where I am right now? So there's this thing right here, right? And if you jump straight at this thing, which is what the game wants you to do, you'll just fall straight down, and Midna will tell you, like, what the hell are you doing? But if you jump, like, here, right? I think that was kind of bad, but usually, I think that should work. But if you jump to the left of it, right, you won't get any sort of text. Midna won't get mad at you, and this should pop up. Yeah, see. Okay, so Midna jumps, right? Anytime there's a Midna jump after text, you can get the jump early by just holding ZL and A at the end of the text box. And Link will follow her immediately rather than having to wait. It's kind of useful. You can't do it on every jump, but the ones after text boxes, definitely so. You want to jump attack on there, I'm just bad. So you see I did it there. And we did that like a fair number of times during the run, because there's just a decent number of ones where just Xbox. Okay, what I did there was I was holding the jump attack inputs. I had that stored, and then I pressed start. There's a text right there after the cutscene if you don't jump attack immediately out of it. So I don't dash up to this box here, because if you do, then you can't dash off the box onto the next ledge, and you have to climb up that ledge, which is slow. Well, that movement was crap. Anyways. Good luck on the tutorial. Thank you for the good luck, I guess. Anyways. Alright. Let's see. I'm gonna store forward an A here. Just jump off immediately after the cutscene. Alright, so we did sewers. I think we basically did most of the stuff. I messed up the movement on top of the sewers a little bit, so that wasn't exactly what you should do, but you can see it in runs pretty easily. You just want to jump onto that, like, side thing rather than having to climb up a ledge. I'm gonna do a jump attack here, just for a little extra distance again. Thank you, the beast, for the follow. Alright. So we can just... Now we gotta get the sword and shield. I should note something. It's possible to skip the text trigger where Minton wants you to get the sword and shield over there by using this bokoblin. It's hard on HD because nobody's found a setup for it. But it's possible. I've done it before. It's just... The problem is that you won't have a sword after Twilight, and you'll have no way of getting one. So we don't do it. So instead we just gotta go do the sword and shield fetch quest. I guess I can show, like, not show, but discuss a couple ways you can soft lock your game if you try to skip some in the text here. Okay, so first we gotta go talk to these guys, and they're gonna tell us what the shield is, or like where the shield is. And you just kind of like haphazardly walk towards them a little bit, and then just press A or ZR. This guy will yell at you because he's here now. You gotta skip the cutscene and actually mash through the text box, which is kind of weird. Alright, this is another case where we can just jump before. You can actually skip this little pillar in the middle too. I'm going a little fast, sorry. Okay, here's another case where you can just do the drop-off. See, so I got it there. I didn't... Normally you jump, like, and take extra time by jumping. Okay, this wall is stupid. Let me try to show you why this wall is stupid. I'm gonna do this jump a couple times. See, I got it there. This table and this jump is actually really finicky, though. See, that can happen, which is very, 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 very annoying. So what you can try to do is, I think usually if you stand where this pumpkin was, well, the pumpkin moved, so I don't have a good cue now, but if you, like, go nudge into where the pumpkin was, which was, like, here-ish, then you should be able to make it like that. It's just kind of annoying. There's a lot of places it'll work spread across the table, and a bunch of places it won't, and sometimes you'll just miss it 5 times in a row. I really gotta figure out exactly where the best spots are. Anyways, so if you jump attack there, out of that text, instead of talking to Midnight, you'll soft lock, because you can't get a sword. Like, you actually won't be able to get the sword, and you won't be able to get the Ordon portal. So even if you did sword and shield skip, and skipped, like, all of that, you wouldn't be able to finish. Anyways, so, like, I think Russell would show up, and you go in here, but the sword just wouldn't be here. Also, yeah, try not to talk to animals when you're as Wolfling. It just wastes time. Alright, Alright, we can just dig back out here. So where Russell is after this is kind of luck dependent. So we got good luck. Okay, we want to not talk to this chicken. The chicken is annoying. So if you get good luck, you can run on the upper path. Otherwise, you gotta run around him to the low path if he's like really close to the house. You just don't want to talk. You don't want him to see you because then it'll waste a bunch of time. If you jump attacked out of that sword text and then save warped before you landed, then you wouldn't be able to get the Ordon portal trigger, and you'd have to do sword and shield skip. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. There's like a couple frames where you could get the save screen to come up. Alright, so the fastest way to kill this guy is just to kill with spin attacks. Alright, so we're gonna go into Far and Twilight here. Finally. I promise there will be more to talk about later. I'm just running through like the easy stuff right now while getting some of like the concepts out of the way. Yeah, there's several cutscenes there. It's silly. Anyways, okay, so Shadow Beasts. There are two ways to actually kill a set of Shadow Beasts. You can kill all but the last one any way you like. You just have to deal enough damage to them. But there are two specific ways you can kill the last one. So you can't kill it with a wolf spin attack, but you can kill it with a wolf mid charge, and you can kill it with a human spin attack. But any other thing, even if you space out the damage perfectly, like, see what I'm doing right here? This guy's still standing. But that's not just because of the cutscene. If you did that normally, he'd still be standing. So if you're a wolf, you have to mid-charge the last two. But it's usually fastest anyways, so it's not weird or anything. But yeah, like, as human Link, contrary to popular belief, you don't actually have to kill them at the same time. You have, like, actually a decent amount of time after the spin attack where you killed one of them until the other one starts screaming. Okay, so you can just press up on the D-pad to close this map rather than zooming out twice, which is what I used to do. Okay, so bug collection. I'll just briefly discuss what I need to get the bugs. There, I just wait for them to go like that, and then I just jump attack both of them at the same time, like as soon as they stop being lightning-y. Make sure not to jump down at the scarecrow down there. So we gotta talk to Koro. I'll discuss what I'm doing after I do this. Okay. I messed it up a little. There's like a certain spot where you can stay on where you get both tiers at the same time. What I did there was basically I let go of the mid charge after I got both of them in range, and then I pressed X before I hit them. And so what that does is that allows me to skip a little bit of text from Koro that would normally waste like 2 seconds. This bug can be annoying. If he goes a certain way, you really just gotta figure this bug out. Then you can just like dash attack him if he goes a certain way. Also, there's a tunnel right here, which is kind of nice. But otherwise, you want to just like normally B attack him or just mid charge, basically. Okay, there's a bug right here. You want to like walk up onto this thing before jumping at him. Otherwise, you'll probably be too low. So you just hug the wall before you jump. And now we can just do some more mid jumps. There's like a bunch of them. You can mid charge these guys. I find it usually works to just jump attack them in succession. You don't have to do anything complicated. And I'm not gonna make the right cycle on this log. this is 2 cycles after, so it looked like the same cycle. So ideally, yeah, the log will be going that way whenever you want to jump across here. And it's dependent on, like, all of your movement in this area. So if you get lucky with the bugs and move quickly, then you lose the first cycle, otherwise you lose, like, a second or something to movement. Alright, so these guys won't actually pop out of the ground until the 3rd time you dig, and I messed it up, lovely. If you position yourself correctly, then you'll dig both of them up at the same time. But apparently I only dug one of them up. Anyways, the only way to really kill these guys consistently is to mid-charge them. So ideally what would have happened is I would have dug them up. They would have both gone to, like, about here, right next to each other, and then I would have mid-charged and killed both of them. But yeah. Anyways, there's some more shadow beasts here. I could talk about the way, like, the order in which mid-charge does things. So basically, first in, last out. It's like a queue if you know computer science, basically. Or, no, not a queue, a stack, sorry. The opposite of a queue. So essentially, also there's a couple guys here. I'm just gonna jump attack at them. That was terrible movement. Okay, I'm gonna try to avoid this tier for a second so I can talk about this. So essentially, how do I explain this? So the last one you target will be the first one you jump at, basically, and vice versa. So if there's one against a wall, you want to actually target that one in the mid-charge first, so that you'll jump at the one that's away from the wall, and then you'll jump at the one that's in, like, right next to the wall. That way you don't bonk into a wall. Anyways, I'm gonna buffer a backflip here, skip some text, so you can just roll back and then hug the wall. So Cora has the small key we need. It's faster to say, yes, I want to buy the bottle, I think, even though we don't have enough rupees, so just say buy. Yeah, you don't want to talk to that sign. Oh, something that's interesting that is just kind of interesting is, I think if you're, like, pulling out the sword, you can't talk to things. That might just be an SD, though. It's just, like, once you're actually talking to the sword, you can't talk to things. Let's see. I know if you slash, you can't talk to things. Like, you can do that right next to the sign. You can just, like... if I can do it. I don't know why it won't look... It's, like, stopping me at... Something about this hill is stopping me from moving. It's very annoying. But yeah, you can do that. See how the A text went away? So if you slash your sword, or I think if you pull it out, then you don't talk to things. It's potentially useful in some places. Just thought I'd point it out. Alright, so we're just gonna rush through here. This monkey is somewhat random that we're about to get to, because sometimes she'll swing the normal length of time, and sometimes she'll swing like twice as long as normal. You want to get as many normal swings as possible. Alright, so pull out the lantern, and it's going to talk to us. The monkey's going to show up and steal our lantern. Unfortunately, there's no way to... In SD, you can just use the lantern to run yourself through the fog. We unfortunately can't do that here. But anyways, so what we're going to do to make this like a little bit faster, hopefully, is we're going to actually push the monkey forward. And if you push her along her route, she won't go backwards and you save some time. We also want to be grabbing rupees along here. So like every time you see some grass, see if there's rupees there, basically. There's also bats along here. You want to make sure the bats are dead before the monkey gets to them. because they can waste time. Because the monkey will get scared. Like that. You want to make sure that guy's dead before the monkey sees him. You also don't want to be too far behind the monkey, because then she'll be like, what are you doing? Get over here. There's usually 4 rupees right here. Like, I think that's guaranteed. Anyways, you only need 10 right here. And this is the easiest place to get those 10. There's some other places where you can get rupees if you're short of 10. You just need 10 by the end of Linear Twilight, so... and you saw what I was doing there. I had 1 slingshot shot to stun the Deku Baba once it came up, and then 1 to literally just tear its stem in half. And if you do this right, then she'll be far up enough where she won't do this last lantern swing. Also, if you do this right, you won't have your sword or the slingshot out. That way you can just walk up and pick up the lantern. Anyways. Alright, so there's a Bokoblin over by Trill's shop that we need to kill in order to go into Trill's shop. But to get that Bokoblin closer, we can actually slash these guys. This way the guy comes up closer. You can roll 3 times over here, dip this thing in here. And if you don't get analog glitch, you can roll out of the shop and you skip this text box that I just saw. Analog glitch is essentially when the camera changes during like a cutscene and you're holding a direction. It'll act as if you were holding that direction in terms of the camera that it's changing from, I'm pretty sure. And so yeah. Alright, so we're gonna get finishing blow here. Just want to jump attack this guy. We're not actually close enough to do any other sort of slash, so we just jump attack at him. And then we just span through this text. There's a bunch of text, it's pretty easy. You'll get to know the timing on the finishing blow. It's just 2 A presses, basically. Like, as soon as that prompt comes up, you just press A. Alright. Right. But yeah, analog glitch can be annoying sometimes, like... And it does that too, kind of, if you're changing the control stick yourself. Like, occasionally that'll happen, like if you're climbing ledges or something, and you change the camera while you're climbing. I think it does that sometimes. It's just something to look out for. Anyways. Go ahead and get in here. Alright, Forest Temple. We're finally gonna get to, like, some of the actual glitches rather than just movement. And I can, like, take some time to show off what I'm talking about. We're, like, halfway to Gauntlet as well, so we'll be there in, like, I don't know, an hour. Alright, so there's a spider here that you need to kill before the monkey will jump off to the right. And if you get good rolls, you can just do that. It's the fastest way of killing it. If you have bad rolls, you want to try to stab after the 5th roll instead of the 6th roll. You just have to learn how to gauge it. Anyways, there's a cutscene here. Monkey's gonna destroy the bridge. We have to actually do this so that a monkey will go to the right. We can rescue the other monkey. We did a backflip there, just so that we can get closer to the door. There's a funny little thing you can do here. You're just falling very slowly through the air as this cutscene starts for some reason. Nice block. Normally you can fit 2 rolls in there. I just rolled badly, apparently. doing well, Bruggle. Yeah, I did say if I got sub 340, I'd do a tutorial, so that's what I'm doing. So I got sub 340 yesterday. Alright, so there's a spider right here. It's definitely possible to kill this spider with a slingshot. You can kind of just dash along here and then jump slash. Just gotta kind of line up to the side there. Anyways. You just want to walk into this twice. Or 3 times, right? I'm dumb. 3 times. And then these bokoblins will come down. Again, bokoblins, the easiest and fastest way to kill them is just to do single slashes to kill them. You just walk up and do a couple single slashes. Sometimes these guys will drop rupees. Well, when Gymnast got sub 350, that was considered a pretty darn good time, especially for the route. Like, that was probably as optimized as mine was, just with fewer tricks. Which means it probably wasn't quite as optimized, but it was, you know, pretty optimized. And Fino's run, the 340-15 was pretty optimized too. Anyways, just gonna roll along here. I'm gonna show the movement that I normally do for this room. And pull out the lantern in midair so that we don't waste any time. And then Link keeps it pulled out so that we can just burn this web. I stole this from Jim. You do a backflip and then roll immediately. You get the timing perfectly through the web. Okay, before I go through this door, because everything is timing based past this door, the second dream time, I don't know. It's a good time, for sure. It could be better, but it's good. Alright, so beyond this door, there's basically a bunch of bridges that turn. And you're not supposed to be, like, some of them aren't lined up. Like, we're actually going through this room backwards from the way we're supposed to, essentially. Some of them aren't lined up with each other. And so, essentially, there should be no way to cross the gap, because we don't have a boomerang, so we can't turn them, and we can't LJA because we don't have the boomerang. And so essentially what we're going to do is we're actually going to clip into the side of one of these bridges right here. So I'm going to roll 3 times. If you talk to Midna while the wind is blowing, the wind will blow again. This happens everywhere. Right, we're going to just walk onto the bridge. Talk to Midna again. Pull out my sword. Roll and then slash. Alright, now we're just gonna side hop here. You gotta time the side hop a little bit. But whenever you're at like a 45-degree angle, I think is when it works. Anyways, so that's how you get through that room. It's called early boomerang, I think. That was unfortunate. Yeah, sometimes Ook won't be stunned long enough. Alright, anyways. I think the fastest way to do this is actually jump spin slash and then another jump spin and slash afterwards on the second one. But you can just do 1 spin here if you do 2 spins previously. I don't think it really matters. Anyways. Yeah, so the amount of times that Ook jumps there is random. Usually if you bonk while the boomerang is in the air, he'll get hit by it. And if he doesn't look like he's wobbling anymore and you want to hit the pole again, and you just gotta get a feel for it. But yeah, the number of times he jumps is random. The minimum is 2, the maximum, there is no maximum. It's just like a geometric series in terms of like how likely it is for him to still be jumping at a given jump. Alright. So Midna's actually going to talk to us here, but not if we save warp first. Alright. I guess I can talk about something. If you have your Wolflink amiibo and you have it registered to your file, which I'm pretty sure you need to have a file already to register the Wolflink amiibo to the file, then you can just plop it on the amiibo spot here, and it'll like just auto load that file, that slot. Like, even if you don't have anything in that slot, it'll just do a new game. Okay, so now we have the boomerang, which is arguably the most broken item in the game. I say arguably, or I think it's the most broken item in the game. So, I'm gonna showcase this right here. Alright. So, you see these stairs that are higher than me, yes? You see how the camera is following the boomerang? Alright, I'm gonna kill this spider because he's annoying. Cliffhanger. Okay, you don't actually need to kill that spider. So, one thing that's weird about this game is if you're really far away from an enemy that you're targeting, and you jump attack at them, as Wolf or as Human Link, you'll jump far further. So if I had used that spider, I probably could have gone back to like here, targeting it, and I would have jumped further than normal jump attack. I would have jumped like to here, right? So you see, again, the Link is targeting the boomerang. Now if you jump normally, it doesn't really give you any extra distance. But for some reason, if it's higher than you, if it's above something higher than you, you'll jump further than normal. You don't really gain any height, or that much height at least. It's about the same as a normal jump attack. You get tons of distance. And so essentially, this works if the boomerang is out of bounds too. So it can be over something that's higher than you, it can be out of bounds, and it can be over a void. There's not really a void to show it off on here. But basically, we're going to use that to our advantage to, like, long jump to things. That's why it's called the long jump attack, because you just get a longer jump attack. And again, you can do this with enemies, but, like, maybe I can do it with this guy. No, I can't target from far away enough for it to matter. Alright, so right here, you can go around the room the normal way, and just jump attack past the spider again. But there's a couple ways of doing this. So you can LJA over here. So as soon as it's over here, you jump over here. I should explain the inputs for LJA in a minute. And in a minute I will. But you can also just like angle yourself so that this pole and the corner of that line up, like so, and then just like do target and then kind of roll while holding the direction so that you jump off. So you don't just target roll, but you target roll with the direction. Anyways, so yeah, you can skip that one little fan thing by just aiming how I did. It's pretty easy. You just want to stand where I was, and then the boomerang should pretty much automatically go through the first one on the way to the second one. There's something that I've been doing that I didn't explain yet. If you see up and then pull out an item, it comes out faster. So, see up item, item. You see that? There's like a huge gap in terms of how fast you can aim. Like that's see up item, that's item. So you definitely, like pretty much every time you pull up an item that you go into first person to use, you want to see up and then pull it out. But yeah, alright. That's out of the way. Just roll past the spider. There's something I'm going to try to do here. If you time this right, you can kind of roll into the side of the bridge. Saves, like, probably a few frames. I don't even know if it does for sure, but kind of. There's a way to LJ all the way through this room, but you really don't need to. And I don't think it's really any faster than this cutscene. Like, maybe by a little bit. You just walk up to, like, this board, And so since climbing is slow, that's actually faster to just do this and throw immediately. Like, you don't even have to pull out the boomerang. You just target generally above this. It's kind of nice. Anyways. So we didn't get any of the monkeys, and we're closing in on the boss door with boss keys. So you may be wondering, what are we going to do? I'll show you in a minute. But first, I want to explain something. When you're doing this, you can move the camera around like this, right? As long as the game still focuses on the boomerang, you can move the camera around. But if you target, right, then you can't LJA anymore because the camera is no longer on the boomerang. Also, if you move, the camera is no longer on the boomerang. So you don't want to do either of those things. But what you do want to do is you want to do this, pull out the sword, and then since the game thinks that you're targeting, you can jump slash, even though you're not targeting. Anyways. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to like throw this over here, and then just jump over here. Ideally you jump a little further to the left than I did. Because if you jump too far to the right, you'll slide. And then I just target around here on this wall. It's really not precise. You just do the jump attack, and you get over here. Alright. You know, I probably should have explained this, the Ookless, before I went through the door. But I'm just gonna do it. I'll try to explain it during the cutscene, what I'm doing. So I'm gonna kill this guy immediately because it's easy to do. I'm gonna do something weird. So I'm gonna target both of these bombs and bring them to me. Then I'm gonna target this guy, move away while holding the boomerang out. You have to like pull the boomerang so that you don't grab the bombs. Target that guy. If you keep moving to the right far enough, you won't grab either of these bombs in the boomerang. And you'll have two left here. Now what am I going to do with these two? I'm actually going to kill Diabomb. I probably should have saved before this in case I missed this. But it's not really a hard trick. Alright, so you can just walk to about here. Alright, see how both of them got in the bomb when it's low? That one will come back to me. Oops. I kind of messed that up. There we go, I still got it. Yeah, I tried to throw the boomerang too early. Anyways, okay, I should probably discuss what just happened there. I'll pull up the home menu so I can talk about this a little bit. Okay, so I had the two bombs. So the first time I threw the boomerang, I got both of the bombs in the boomerang while just backing up and targeting him. They were low enough on him, because I was so close, that they did not blow up. When you are super close to Diababa and you throw a bomb at him from the ground, usually it doesn't work. You have to be like further away and then target the bomb and then him. And if you're far away enough, it'll be at a good enough angle where you can hit him. And so essentially, we backed up to the fourth plank, about the right side of the fourth plank, and then started targeting him again. And then that let us grab... Actually, I don't think we targeted yet, but we just basically walked to the right spot, and we were facing him. We grabbed the bomb. Now we target. We throw the bomb because we're targeting. And one is next to us, which is nice. So they're kind of lined up. One is close to him, and one is far away. We backflip. Then we target the bomb that's close to us, then him. We do this all quickly. And so what ends up happening is that the first bomb that's close to us ends up being pretty high in the boomerang, and the second bomb ends up being low in the boomerang. So the first bomb ends up actually hitting him in the face since we're far away, and the second bomb does not blow up. So we just stand there, and every time you have a bomb and a boomerang, it resets the timer on the bomb, which is important. So as soon as that second bomb comes back to us, because it will, because we're using the boomerang and it should still be in the boomerang, we just throw it off to the side, and during that time we do a jump/quick spin to deal the proper damage on the first part. Okay, and then the bomb eventually comes back to us again, and we just aim up at his face and throw it again. And if you do it quickly, then it's super fast. Another thing you can do, if you're like targeting him while he's in the air and you move back to like a proper spot, you can do a jump/quick spin instead of a finishing blow when he lands, which I did, and it saves a little time. But that's essentially how that works. It takes practice. I'm not gonna lie, it takes practice. See, the inputs sound complicated. It's really not that bad once you get used to it. But anyways, I'm gonna unpause the game. I might make a separate video for Ookless that like goes into detail about what was going on during an Ookless thing in like a run or something. But I don't know. Like, I have a movie that I can pull up with UTAS, which I should probably do those at some point, because I have those ready and then I can, like, discuss the inputs and whatnot. But anyways, yeah. That saves, like, 50 seconds over waiting for Ook. If you miss one of the bombs, you basically want, as soon as the side bob has attacked you twice, Ook will come out. So, if you miss a bomb, then you should go close so that the little side heads attack you. Alright, we're gonna grab the heart container here. You don't have to. This one's actually not that important of a heart container. I don't know. I take a lot of damage, so I generally grab this heart. There's, like, only one heart that I think is, like, really far out of the way that I don't grab. And that's the palace heart. Otherwise, I pretty much grab all the hearts in all the dungeons we finish. Alright, I side-hopped because there's no reason. I just side-hopped because it looks cool, I guess. Alright, so we're gonna just roll to Eldon. So now is the Twilight section of the run, basically, which is the resident sleeper part of the run, unfortunately, but we'll talk about things as they come up, I guess. I should probably show off Mailman Skip. I'll see if I can get it. I don't normally go for it, but it's viable and saves a few seconds if you do this and another skip and runs. So you just kind of want to go up to this wall on the side, because the Mailman trigger, I think it's an oval, so you can get like closer to crossing the trigger when you're on the wall. And that's important because you can actually cross over the trigger if you're in the right spot. Which I think is this big black line up here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I just jumped over the trigger. If the Bokoblin comes at you, you want to wait until he gets close to you so that the boomerang will summon. Thank you, Zildolf. Alright. And so, essentially what that does is that postpones the Mailman until you cross a sort of different trigger where the Mailman could theoretically go to. So it has to be not in Twilight, basically. And an area where the Mailman would normally show up. So there's one more of those before the Mailman that we necessarily get, which is right before Epona Clip, that we have to skip now if we do that skip. So you do 2 skips, and you save a few seconds off of skipping the Mailman, because the Mailman takes a while. It's just, I don't really want to have to deal with the potential time loss of doing that. Okay, you want to wait for these guys to get close together. That host thing is kind of big. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so the game wants you to warp to North Faran, which would be this, but I don't want to go to North Faran, I want to go to South Faran. And the reason why is because I want to actually go to Lanayru rather than grabbing the bridge right now, and it's just convenient for us to warp here now. You can do this technically anytime you're Wolf, so you could do this after getting the vessel if you wanted to. It would just be an extra warp. So it just works into the route the best this way to do this here. But yeah, so since we got map warp from that bridge, we can warp over here out of the Twilight. And now we're gonna run over to the Lanayru gate. And I'm going to do it one time fast, and then one time after killing the goblins to show exactly what I'm using as a cue here. Doing this... I should explain what I'm doing, shouldn't I? I'm going into Lanayru from the wrong direction as Wolf, so that basically I can skip a bunch of movement when getting the Lanayru vessel. And it saves like 30 seconds. I'm gonna spin attack these guys to knock them down. I'm gonna walk over to here, Q about here, walk back, and if I do it right, I'd side hop through. Yeah, like that. So essentially, now I'm through the gate and I go run over there, and I automatically start a cutscene. But I'm gonna show again what I use as a cue. You can jump through this gate both ways. Okay. So I usually walk up to about here, so his head is like lined up on this left post, basically. Right? And then I move the camera to about right here. You see how the thing on the very left of the screen, like that bright gray part, is like just off screen. Then I move back a tiny bit, bonk with B, and then I side hop through. And if you get the angle right, it happens pretty quickly. It's a little finicky, but that's what I do, and it generally works pretty well. It's just another of those things that needs a little practice. Also, I forgot that I could turn night right now, so apparently we're gonna get night. So yeah, we just randomly start this bridge cutscene without fire, and we can jump straight down here. It's really weird, but it's there. So yeah, now we're in Lanayru, and the point of this, since we're already at the lake, is we're just gonna go ahead and get the Zora's Domain portal, so that as soon as we basically finish Elven Twilight, we can just, as soon as we get into Lanayru Twilight, I guess, the second time, the proper way, we can just warp to Death Mountain, grab the meteor, and then do the thing, instead of having to run all the way across the field and whatnot. Alright, so this guy's gonna shoot like 4 arrows, I think. Sometimes he'll shoot like 5. I've seen him shoot 3 exactly once. And then he's gonna fly around. And I'm gonna stand on this hill, and you'll see why in a second. Alright, so I'm gonna wait for him to get up pretty close to me. So I wait a little bit longer there. And then I'm gonna do a backflip and just attack him again. So if you're on this hill, lined up so that when you backflip, you'll gain height. You can get both of the attacks in one go, rather than waiting for him to go around again. And the fastest way to kill that goblin is with a midnight charge. Alright, here's another trick. So this is Kargrak out of bounds. It saves about 6 seconds. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up about here on the 4th dash, and then as soon as Minda's head is like, I mean, I got it, but as soon as her like horn things are above a specific spot, like where the wall angles, I'm gonna dash and then like hold down the control stick so I go up and to the left. and I'll clip through. You definitely don't want to dash right after you get it, just so that you can make sure that you don't bonk. But yeah, if you do that, then you can basically just be out of bounds. And you can do this the normal way, and there's some movement for that. I just don't really feel like doing it. That trick's pretty easy, actually. It saves 6 seconds, you might as well do it. You just dash out of here. There's like a little white dot that I'm going towards where the exit is. But yeah, since we're just moving in a straight line, more or less, this is a lot faster than going through the normal route. Alright. You can just kind of dash back in through this wall right here. Sometimes you'll bonk, but I got it. Alright. Let's see. So there's another mid-to-text after a cutscene here. So we're gonna hold ZL and A and then do this twice. Skip twice, basically. And we just jump over some mid-to-text, which is kind of nice. Alright, so we can just dash over this way. And, go ahead and do some jumps. For some reason, you can't do the fast mid to jump here, even though it's after text. Not exactly sure why. You can just run around this icicle, you don't have to break it or anything. Alright, you don't want to jump too early because you'll get hit by these icicles or slip off. Okay, so what I just did there... Okay, so... There's a platform, like, right down there. And normally Wolf Link will, like, slide off of it if you don't do anything specific. But if you hold ZL and then, like, back on the control stick, you won't slide off. And so you won't be hanging off the edge like you would be otherwise. And that way you can save a little time and mid to jump immediately. Which is nice. That's the fastest way to kill those guys, basically. You just judge whether you need to go right or left. And that's actually, like, what I did there, where I, like, drew both of them to the middle by going up the middle rather than directly to a side. That saved some time. Okay, we're gonna go get the bridge now. That saved some time because, well, it didn't save time, but it made it more consistent. Because now they won't be, like, with one of them so close to the wall. The angles just work out better, basically. If that makes any sense. So you just bonk less often if you do that. You can't skip this cutscene. There is a mid-text once you land, so I'm just gonna hold ZL and A. But yeah. So the next, like, 20 minutes is a bunch of movement. So, buckle up, I guess. I guess the past 10 minutes has been a bunch of movement, too. Okay, yeah, so whenever you come out of a dig like that, there's, like, a frame where you can dash before Midda falls on your back. It saves time. You just have to, like, actually get it. I didn't get it the other spots, so I didn't talk about it then. But it's there. Alright, so I'm not going to talk too much about, like, the way these bugs are routed. I'm just going to go through the route and, like, just talk about a couple minor movement optimizations, I guess. There's not too much to talk about. You basically want to go into this house. You can do this house at the end, too. It doesn't lose any time, but there's really no reason to do that at the end. So we just do it now. This cutscene doesn't pop up unless you have senses on. Alright, so you didn't just jump around and light all these candles. It was pretty fast. You just kind of want to be walking at an angle so that the flame will hit it. And you can jump directly into the hole here. I'll see if I get it. I didn't quite get it, but if you get a good jump angle, you'll fall in the hole rather than on the ground. Okay, I got that. Alright, I'll explain that in a second. Okay, alright. So, what you want to do is you want to dash up, stop like right here. You don't want to stop earlier because then the second guy won't fall down and he'll troll you. And if you stop later, then the second guy falls down too fast and trolls you because he'll dodge you. So you walk up to here, like on this right side of the wall. You mid-charge, walking forward just a little bit, hit both of these guys, and then just jump attack this guy. That's the fastest way to kill all of those. And it saves like 5 seconds, so you definitely want to make sure you're doing that right. The game wants you to go up through the graveyard, but there's really no reason to go to the graveyard. It's faster just to warp the cack. So like, as soon as you get the tier, you can just warp. And what I mean by as soon as you get the tier is Wolflink is going to turn blue. Like, you don't want to go through a loading zone until you see Wolflink turn blue, like if you're supposed to grab a tier there. So you just got to be careful about that. Like, we'll see it in this next room. I'll try to show it. Like, that's when you actually collect the tiers, when Wolflink is blue. And I think if you get that animation, even if you're going through a loading zone, if you get the animation like through the loading zone, it'll work. I messed that up because the positioning was wrong, so this guy's probably gonna jump down to the floor. Nice jump. But ideally, this guy will stay in the corner like that. Which he did. Alright, you see Wolflink turn blue there? That's when you get the tier. But yeah, you want to like stand somewhat near where I was standing there to throw away the stick. And then that will make it so that you... like, the bug will stay up on the ledge, which means that it'll be easier to hit him because he'll get stuck in the corner. Now, sometimes if you do it wrong, and he goes up on the ledge, you can, like, get all the way up there, and then he'll jump to the ground, which is really, really bad, but usually he doesn't do that. Alright, I'm gonna discuss dash canceling. Okay, so what I just did was the dash cancel. Essentially, if you press B in like the first 10 or so frames of a dash, like this, then Wolflink will stop dashing, and you can dash immediately after it. So it's kind of useful in certain spots like there, because I could dash across all of the rooftops, and it's also useful in Hyrule Castle Town. But yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. Okay, so right here, you can climb up this ledge, but you can also jump directly onto here, which I'm gonna do. Oh, crap. If you jump at this cupboard thing at any sort of a decent angle, then you'll knock the bug down onto the ground, which is what you want, because you can jump attack him immediately that way. And some of the movement I was doing there, it's just a little bit faster to side hop up. It doesn't save that much time. And it looks cool, though. Alright, so I like to throw the stick into the corner so I don't pick it up whenever I'm trying to get out of here. And then this bomb house explodes. There is a way to skip this as Wolf so that you can get the bugs before they go into the bomb house. It's just very, very hard, and Wolf, like, precise movement as Wolf is basically impossible. It's much easier as Human Link. It's really hard to do as Wolf. Like, see how when I'm backflipping, like, it's not just a backflip, there's like a number of angles I can go backwards. Ideally you jump attack onto there and then jump back off. You can just jump over this fence here too. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh, right, yeah. Precise movement as Wolf is very difficult, so there are very few precise tricks we do as Wolf. Like, you could say, well, we do Freezard Clip, or Freezard Skip, or whatever as Wolf, but, that's not precise. Like, at all. I mean, there's a couple super jumps we do as Wolf, but those aren't precise at all. There's nothing that requires precise positioning as Wolf. You want to jump attack from there, jump back at this guy. Any bug that digs into the ground, you want to jump attack them before they do that, basically. Because if they dig into the ground, they wasted a lot of time. There's the 2 and Faron that dig into the ground that you just can't attack before they dig into the ground, but every other one you can attack first. Alright, I'm gonna try to get early wind cycle just to show it off. Alright, so this wind off to the right there has cycles, essentially. And so you want to hit the earliest one possible. So I just barely got it. So that was early wind cycle, essentially. So the idea is that you need to kill the shadow beasts in a fast fashion, kind of like what I was doing. Some interesting movement, and you just save some time. That bug can be annoying sometimes. You usually just be attacking a few times, we'll get him. You can also mid-to-charge, but it's a little dicey. Get you a Wii U and TPHD and it's perfect. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I need to go to the restroom. Alright, I'm back. Okay. Sorry, I bumped the mic there. Okay, so now what we do is we need to go get Epona. Because we need Epona to get out of Kakariko Village, there's no other way. So to do that we need to hit a Goron trigger up here. And normally you get hit by this guy and you would take damage, right? But there's actually a way to skip that, and I'm going to discuss the method I do to skip that. It saves like 3 seconds, I think. That also makes the damageless run possible for this game. Okay, so you want to climb up. Okay, see how this is like divided into 2 parts by this middle thing? You want to be like halfway into this section, like here-ish. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and do some equips, because I want milk for later, and boomerang for later, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So, here, I'm gonna go down to the ground and demonstrate something. So, you know how I talked about doing this, where you, like, backflip, and do a quick spin while pulling out the sword? You'll notice that when you do a quick spin, you move forward, right? You move forward. Pretty much no matter what you do. Like, even if you backflip, you move forward. If you jump attack, you move forward, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do here is essentially we're gonna use that to our advantage. We're going to backflip into the text trigger for the Goron, but we're going to quick spin, right? Out of the range. Okay, and now I can just hold ZL and up and jump off. So we're not locked into place because we're not where the game thinks we're supposed to be. So basically we just roll off. Yeah, it's a pretty cool strat. It saves 3 seconds. I just thought I'd explain that. There's a lot of like cool little things that I didn't find. I understand how they work that are pretty cool. I'm gonna show off something just kind of funny. If you have your fishing rod out here, this is not something you should do in runs at all. It doesn't really matter, but it's just funny. The Kakariko music will still play during this cutscene. Like, normally it does not. It's playing right now, though. But you can just kind of hear it in the background. Anyways. Alright, so we gotta tame Epona. This is the same every single time. So, it's not really complicated. It's like just back and forth between left and right until you can press A. You'd think I'd have it memorized, but I just look at it because why not? Alright, there's a cutscene here. There's like one frame where you can like move Epona gear or get off Epona. There's no reason to. Oh crap, I messed it up. You're supposed to get over that on your 5th spur so that you have another one to use here. But I forgot. Alright, so I'm gonna line up Epona here. So, if you backflip off Epona while she's moving, she'll go further forward, even while you go off of Epona. So, you see how she's like really far forward there? There's a mailman trigger here. And I just jumped over it. Okay, if you slash Epona and then get on her, she'll dash immediately. You can also go behind her, but with the mailman trigger, you probably want to slash and then get on from the side, just so that you don't accidentally trigger the mailman trigger after skipping it twice, because that would kind of suck. That bird's annoying. Yes, I just did a quick spin on Epona. Fun. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna dash to, like, here. So, like, close to this ledge. And then I'm gonna turn and walk off this ledge. And as soon as I walk off the ledge, I just use the milk. And now we are on the ground. So, yeah, that's a thing. It's interesting. And the reason this is useful is because the triggers to go into Twilight extend infinitely up and down, or I think infinitely. Oh wait, I didn't have as many spurs as I thought. Wait, did I mess this up? Oh my god. Hang on, I'm gonna go back to where I was. And then, like, show how you're actually supposed to do this, because apparently I'm an idiot. Alright, we're gonna go back to where I was, and then I'll show, like, the angle you're supposed to go at this. Okay, right. So you fall off the ledge, and I think you're over here when you fall off the ledge, or, like, here. Yeah, okay. You fall here, you dash once, you turn, and now, okay, you dash towards this green part. I don't know why it didn't work the first time, because I didn't have the right number of spurs. It shouldn't matter, but I might have dashed too far to the right, too. You just want to keep Link's head lined up, like, a little bit to the right of this trigger, the Twilight light green thing, and you can go in here. But yeah. You only get one shot at that trick, because as soon as you drink the milk, you don't have any milk anymore, and that's the only thing that can do it. Oh, this is kind of funny. There's a bat here. You can see Link's head turned toward it. So you can just jump over the mid-trigger. It's kind of funny. Alright. So we're going here to grab the meteor. There's some little funny stuff you can do here while waiting for the meteor. So you can get hit by this. and then get up to the Scoron. I like doing that because it's fun. It doesn't matter, because basically no matter what you do here, the meteor comes down at the same time. And yeah, so since we did the thing with the gate clip earlier, we now can just go straight to Zora's domain. Alright, so I'm gonna store a jump attack here, jump over some into text. And that trigger is still there on the ground, and interestingly, we're going to walk back to that spot, but we're just gonna jump attack again, because we can store it. This is pretty easy. As soon as you see the word light, you just want to start holding A. It's in red. That's the cue I used for that. I'm not playing with the remote, no. I'm playing with the gamepad. I don't think that you can play this game with the Wii remote. But yeah, waggle controls on this game would suck. Alright, so we can just go ahead and grab the vessel here. And I've only wasted like half an hour explaining stuff. Nice. I thought I would have wasted more time than this. Solid. That probably means I'm going too fast. Well, I didn't know that you could play with the Wii remote on the Wii U. This is Twilight Princess HD, right? But I thought you could only do that on the Wii. Yeah, you want to jump attack at this guy from far away, so that he doesn't start running around and wasting time. Kill this guy first, then run back and try to get both of these guys to come closer to you. And you just get them both once they're close enough together. That's another thing you just gotta eyeball, is the distance apart those guys can be while still being able to get them. Yeah, so as soon as Wolf Link turns blue, you can just go into the map and warp. Alright, let's see. This guy, there's a consistent way to do this guy, this little bug. So if you walk out to like here, you can get him to go around, what is that, counterclockwise? And then as soon as he stops, you can mid-charge at him. And it makes that guy extremely consistent and fast, which is good. This bug is not as consistent, but he's still quite consistent. Usually he'll be close enough to where you can jump attack at him from that lily pad. If not, you can just wait until he gets closer. You just want to jump attack this guy a couple times. Make sure you get him before he goes on the ground. Unfortunately, he's uphill, so your jump attacks don't go as far, but anyways. Alright. Now there's just a bunch of, like, empty movement. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be willing to answer them. Yeah, sometimes there's a rupee that pops out there, so if you have, like, 9 rupees from earlier, you can just go grab this one pretty fast. I don't think it wastes, like, more than half a second, maybe, to grab that rupee. is just a bunch of moving. It's basically just holding forward and pressing A for like a minute. It's lovely. Like, as soon as you climb up onto that ledge up in, like, Zora's River, Upper Zora's River area, or whatever, it's just holding forward while turning slightly every so often and pressing A. It's awesome. Okay, so there's some shadow beasts here that you can't skip. You just dash to where the trigger is, and there's gonna be one that pops up like right next to you. You just want to hold B like I'm holding right now, and you'll automatically mid charge. You can just get this guy immediately. And these guys, you can get them to dash together pretty easily by just like running towards one and then back towards the other. Okay, so in Castletown, your dash dies out really quickly, but doesn't restore as quickly as well. And so it's actually faster to dash cancel through here. Be careful you don't talk to signs or like pick up a bone. Alright, yeah. I don't know, I mean, it's just dash canceling. Okay, you want to jump at the boxes from like here, so that you land in the corner, and then this guy will go down onto the ground immediately, and you'll be able to attack him. Otherwise, he'll just run around in circles for like 10 seconds, and it's just silly. You just want to go at that angle. Alright, so the remaining bugs are one that's like off to the side of Lake Hylia, the boss bug, and the ones like in the river. So we're gonna go ahead and get the ones in the river right now. These are pretty fast. You just dash. Don't dash too much, because you want to be able to target these guys before you dash at them. Otherwise, you have to like control this Kargarok, this clunkily controlling Kargarok. Nice alliteration there. Like eyeball it so that you aim properly. This bug you have to wait a while, unfortunately, but it's just the way it is. Again, you can just YOLO it and dash directly at the guy, but it's not worth it. Alright, you can just spam B here, and you'll automatically say no. Which is kind of nice. That works in a lot of places where you say no. I don't think that works on saves or when you're talking to, like, Bo. Usually you can just jump back at this guy, but sometimes he acts up. Alright, boss bug. So, I'm gonna try to showcase fast strat for boss bug. Each time you get it, it saves, like, 7 seconds, I think, and there's twice that you can get it. It might be more than 7, I don't know. Might not be 7. I'm just making up a number, basically. Okay, so this first cycle, there's 3 cycles. The first cycle is, like, self-explanatory. Just jumps at you. He just goes at you and you just attack him after he stops shocking. Okay, when this guy stops dashing around, we're gonna backflip twice, and then jump attack at him, and then jump attack at him again once he's off the ground. And so what that does is that lets me attack him before he goes into the air. So the first one stuns, and then the second one allows you to like actually grab him. And if he's coming from a short side, it's a little harder because you have to like kind of step forward on the ledge before you jump attack at him the first time. And then I'm also gonna bonk by going behind this left leg here to kill him immediately. But yeah. I think I mostly explained that. So that's the fast way you do that fight. It's not that hard, but it's just... you gotta get used to it again. Alright, this is the fun part of the run, by the way. We're about to get to the really fun part. the infamous part. This 20 minutes right here is like between Lin Ivory Twilight and getting Iron Boots has some tough tricks and a decent amount of RNG, so it's a little rough. Okay. We just roll over here. We're going up here because, normally you would go get the Zora armor right now, but we can't actually kill King Bulbin 2. And I think that's the only way out of the lake anyways, to go through the cannon. That side hop's kinda cool. It saves a little time. And it looks cool. But... So we need to figure out a way so that we can beat King Bulbin 2, so that we can finish Zora Escort, so that we can get the Zora armor, so that we can actually go into Lakebed and finish it. Because since we don't have early Master Sword, and this is like kind of complicated, since we don't have early Master Sword, we can't save warp to the top of the tunnel in Lakebed, which means that even if we could get in there without Zora armor, without like messing up the route, we wouldn't actually be able to make it up to the top part without drowning. So, anyways, that's the dilemma here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go over to North Hyrule Field so that I can try to get to Iza up in Upper Zora's River, which you normally can't get there without Master Sword or bombs at this point. But I'm gonna get there without either of those, so that I can get bombs. Okay, and this is the mailman that you have to get here. I think every other one you can skip. You can skip him here too. It's just you'll get him going to Iron Boots for sure. Like, you can't skip him forever. What am I doing? You can't skip him forever. So anyways. Okay. So, essentially what I'm doing here is I'm gonna line up like, around here. I'm gonna slow down. And I'm gonna backwalk. Alright, so this is Epona Clip. Really, I should make a more in-depth tutorial for this, but I think Fino has a pretty good one that's up, so I'm just gonna, like, briefly discuss what I do. So I try to have this... Okay. I wonder if I can put an arrow on stream. I don't know if I can, but there's... You see how there's, like, a line over by Epona's back, or right hoof? Like that diagonal line that's pointing towards the hoof? Yeah, you want that to point towards somewhere in the hoof when she's not moving. So like right here, see how it's like partway into the hoof? So this should be able to work. The positioning should be fine. So now we Z-target and just slowly turn until about here. And I'm gonna use the top part of the boomerang as a cue. Okay, so you see that like little curved black line right to the right of the top of the boomerang? I want that the top of the boomerang to be on top of that. So basically I can turn the camera like a little bit and then so that it's like on top of here. And then if I hold slightly back on the control stick, see how how do I explain this? If you move the control stick back while you're facing a certain direction, right, with the R stick, you'll move towards facing that direction. 7, 8, alright, 9 steps, back flip. But yeah, so that's how you line your angle up correctly and precisely that way. Okay. And then as soon as Epona's feet are in the ground, I back flip. So that's essentially Epona Clip. And this way we can go out of bounds. And we're trying to get up to, like, there somewhere. So now we can just walk until we're fully submerged in the ground. There's something you can do here where you can, like, lose a little bit of height by going over this tunnel. Like, or not the tunnel, the little part of water. But you can also lose too much height, so you don't... I don't know, it's kind of risky. It saves a little time if you get it. Because you can, like, cut across this field a bit faster. But you risk not being high enough up to be able to get up on here, which you need to be able to do to gain enough height. So if Epona runs into the wall, and into the wall, like when you're trying to do Epona Clip, and it looks like, how do I put this? And it looks like she's, like, kind of in the wall a little bit, then you can just back up and try again. So you just back up 9 steps, and then just do the same thing again, that we don't have to set it up again, because you probably have a decent angle, you just didn't get the timing, or something weird happened, or it was, like, slightly off. And then usually after a couple tries of that, you'll be able to clip in. Alright, we're gonna do a backflip here into the tunnel. If you miss... I should get this, but... If you miss... So, like, say you did it, like, slightly too early, and you were, like, right before this wall before you backflipped, what you do is you would save warp. And even though you're not actually in this area, you're close enough that it thinks that you should be in this area. So when you save warp, you'll actually just be right behind the bomb wall, and you can just go in here. Which is good, so if you miss the backflip, the run's not over. It just wastes like 30 seconds. Oh, come on. This is dumb. I'm gonna do what Fino does, because this actually is better, because you roll. So you go around that post and then jump down here. It's faster to run around on the ground here rather than jumping into water, like several seconds faster, so just do this. Like, I used to jump into the water because I was like, well, you're swimming, and the water is pushing your way, therefore it must be faster, right? Wrong. It is slower. Water movement is slow. Alright, we're gonna talk to Iza. I'm gonna have to kill these guys as human link, but it's pretty easy. It just takes 2 quick spins on, or a jump slash and a quick spin on each of these guys to kill them. So the first guy, we're gonna jump slash quick spin, and then should kill him immediately. Next 2 guys, we're just gonna quick spin twice. You can do it pretty quickly, usually they'll both die. Alright, let's see. A roll stab also kills those guys if you have the Master Sword. I don't know if it kills otherwise. I don't think so. Alright, so she gives us the bombs. So, we don't have the bomb arrows, right? So you may be wondering, how are we gonna blow up this wall? Okay? Well, you'll see I have the bombs equipped. I also have the boomerang equipped, because frankly, when do I not have the boomerang equipped? Okay? See this piece of moss? Target, like, right below that. You see this little dot right here? That black dot that the cursor was over? It's, like, a little distinguishable. Target, like, right above that on the line. And you see this, like, little shadow that's right here? Okay, target that a couple times. Then walk back, make sure you're facing mostly straight. Position link about the middle of this X, keep holding ZL, and then just press X a couple times. Usually that works. I mean, this trick is like a little finicky, so I don't expect it to work every time. I don't have the specifics ironed out perfectly, but usually this works. Maybe I need to stand a little bit further to the left. I don't know. That might work better. Yeah. Maybe just stand a little to the left of the X. I don't know. I mean, maybe I was targeting the wrong part of the moss. Okay, so now the second one is different. So this is where we were targeting before. Now just target over here in this, like, black dot that's up here. Okay, stand about the same spot, and then just spam X. There you go. So just do that, but fast. And you just have to get it twice. So it's not hard. A lot of different people have different setups for how they do that. I think mine works. It gives me the 2-bomb most of the time. It's certainly not perfect, obviously I miss it occasionally, but usually I'll get it. So. You only need 10 rupees after this. Like, you don't actually need more. It's helpful to have more, but you don't need more. So, because you just have to use the cannon, so it's not that bad. Anyways. You just gotta shoot this twice. And the way I'm trying to paddle is basically the fastest way to go down. The Zora will go one way, but you can cut corners at the cost of some rubies, and it saves a little time. So you go to the right here. You could probably cut the corner to the left there, actually. It might save a little time. I just don't do it. But here's where you, like, really cut the corner. You, like, want to really be close to this left wall and then go around the right of this column. Without mocking, theoretically. Go through the middle of those fences, or whatever they are. Alright, and I'm gonna pretend I did all of this fast instead of trying to explain it for a long time. And so I'm gonna pretend that it's still day now and do that strat. Because there's a slight difference in terms of, like, the time of day in Hydro Castle and Castle Town and the amount of rules that you can get without talking to people. So, just gonna act like it's still slightly day. Alright, so you need to save warp, yeah? Don't save warp while you're on this wooden plank. Don't do it. If you save warp while you're on this plank, you will go back to outside of Iza's place. You need to jump over the water and then save warp. And if you do that, you should be fine. And it'll put you in front of the fountain. You can also walk over there, but this is like a couple seconds faster, so... you want an empty bomb bag, like, before you do Lakebed. So I'm gonna go ahead and start emptying bombs while I'm on a horse, because that's the fastest way. There's a couple other spots where you can probably, like if I did that, like, you can drop a bomb or whatever you're holding by pressing B, because you'll pull out your sword. Nice. Anyways. But yeah, you just want an empty bomb bag sometime during escort or before Lakebed. You don't even have to do it during escort, but anyways. Yeah. just get rid of some bombs while you're moving. Okay, so what I'm doing right here is an Epona slide. You hold ZR, like hold ZR, pause, press A, unpause, and then you'll do an Epona slide if you're moving, and you maintain the same speed that you had. And that way you don't have to like roll and bonk going up steps or something. And it's just faster than backflipping and rolling, for sure, because you get like worse movement. Yeah, so normally you would roll 2 times there instead of 3. Like after the lady, you roll 2 times because there's probably going to be a kid there. If it's during the day and you did any of this well. That's if you do the save warp. If you don't do the save warp, then the kid will never be there. But anyways. Okay. Okay. So, the reason we got bombs is because we want to fight King Bullwin 2. Normally you kill him with the arrows. However, we're going to do this with bombs, which was unintended and weird. So essentially, what we need to do is I'm going to do a series of semi-precise timings for pulling and throwing bombs, and I'm going to knock him off the bridge in 3 bombs. And that's the idea, at least. We'll see if I get it. But really, there's not much I can do to explain this. It's just, like, I try to pull it about here. I throw it when Epona is over this crack in the bridge. Then I use the hilt as a cue, and as soon as it's, like, in this little thing on the side, I think I pulled that late, but it might work. Yeah, it worked. And I throw, like, when I'm halfway between the crack into him. And then I turn around, and she's gonna talk to me. And then as soon as the hilt is, like, past this little thing on the side, I pull the bomb. And then I just, like, throw it at him and dodge. It's really just something you gotta practice. And that's faster than the buffered strat, for sure, because I don't have to do, like, stupid pauses and crap. Like, some people pause to, like, figure out where they are, but you can... The timing's decently lenient, so... Anyways, that's, like, the last hard part of Gauntlet. It's... I mean, you'll see that, like, literally the only thing I messed up in Gauntlet on the way up here, I got perfect Epona Clip. I got 1 missed bomb on Iza Gale, which is that strat that we did to blow up the rock with Gale boomerang and bombs. We're gonna grab some rupees here, by the way. And, yeah, so... with enough practice, Gauntlet really is not hard. It's very consistent. You just gotta, like, make sure you're using decent setups. There are, like, a lot of other parts of the run that I think are harder. Certainly starting out, Gauntlet is kind of annoying, but, like, it's really not that bad. The only thing that can be annoying for me is probably the Epona Clip. I don't know. Was this the original episode plan? I don't know what you're talking about with episodes. I was thinking I was gonna go up to Master Sword. At least. I might go further, depends. Like, I kinda wanna go through Arbiters with this post-skip. But anyways. You can leave this cart behind right here, by the way. Yeah. Well... I'm streaming it right now for, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna stream until, like, I feel like stopping doing the tutorial for now, but anyways. Okay. And so the reason we can skip having the horse carry is because we can LJA over this by just throwing this, and as soon as it's in the wall, you can just jump attack. Because it's out of bounds, so... Or through a wall, or whatever. It's kind of the same thing. Was it planned to do a tutorial? Yes. Yeah. No, this wasn't a run that I stopped and started doing a tutorial. I'm doing a tutorial. If that's what you mean. I did a run yesterday. I got 338.59, and that video, I think, is uploaded to my channel. I did an offline run. So... And it ended up good, so I just posted that. But I did say that when I got sub 340, I'd do a tutorial. Like, kind of a tutorial. This is not a very good tutorial, but I'm trying. So what I did back there is, it's like slightly faster to go like halfway into the tunnel and then go far away, because Rutella will call you back. I don't even know if it really saves time, it's just funny looking. Yeah, no, it's not because I was doing a run already. If that's what you mean, yeah, I know. Okay. So now we're gonna go back to Ordon, because we need to get the iron boots. If we already had them, we could do a cool trick where you go graveyard out of bounds to get to Lakebed. But we have to get iron boots, so we're gonna do something that's also kind of cool to get over there. From iron boots. If we had gone and gotten them earlier, the problem is, if you have the iron boots in your inventory, and you pass through, let's see, this spot on the ground right here, where Epona was when I said right here, then essentially there's a King Bulbin 1 trigger, and you'd have to, like, actually fight King Bulbin 1, which is slow, and we don't want to do that. So we didn't get the iron boots immediately, and we just went ahead and did virus skip. And we are getting the iron boots now, because now we can... The next time we need to go to Kakariko, we can just warp there, so we don't have to worry about passing through the trigger. If you space out the spurs like this, then this should work pretty well, by the way. Okay, so we're about to do sumo wrestling with bow. I'll explain a couple mechanics. So basically, sumo wrestling is rock, paper, scissors, where slap beats moving beats grab, and grab beats slap. Will I ever GC run this? Maybe. I don't know. And so essentially, the end goal of each of those is to grab him and push him. So if you win the rock, paper, scissors thing, then you can grab him. If you lose, then you get grabbed, right? And if you spam A really fast, you actually can push him further. So it turns out that pressing A to go straight at him is the highest % chance thing in terms of data. Like, people have tested this. That will most likely get you to be able to grab him. like, to win the rock, paper, scissors thing because of his AI. And I'll stop and explain it here in a second. Hang on. And also, this is the one box where you have to, like, actually move to know to say no. But, okay. If you slap him from where you start at, even though it doesn't have the highest percent chance of happening, you get him off the stage in one go. Whereas if you grabbed him, you'd necessarily have to take 2 times. So we go for a slap until we lose an exchange. And if we lose an exchange, we just start going immediately for grabs. And that's essentially the strategy here. But you really do have to spam A very fast. If you get it. Like, I did not spam fast enough. So I wasted, like, a couple seconds there. If you don't get it, then you can get unlucky, and he can, like, try to dodge you, too, which is really bad. So, don't want that to happen. So just keep slapping until you lose an exchange. This is the best thing to do. This is just bad RNG, basically. And then just do grabs after that. Because the thing he's most likely to do is slap, right? He's slightly more likely to do that than to dodge or, like, lunge at you. So the best thing you can do is to just lunge at him. But again, you want to try to slap him. And there's some, like, situational stuff with that, where if you're getting, like, terrible luck, and he almost has you at the edge, you might consider dodging, but anyways, you don't really need to. The nice thing about dodging is that if you get a tie, you can usually convert that into, like, a win where you grab him. Because you'll see both of you are moving and then you just slap. But anyways. So that's that. We got Iron Boots. Those are kinda RNG, unfortunately. Bow is, like, not consistent at all. I say at all, he's somewhat consistent, but not... Depends on, like, what level of consistency you're talking, I guess. Like, often you'll lose, like, 15 seconds to that split. Oops. Okay. Be interesting if I get Gold Chew, because then I can show off some Gold Chew strats, but I don't know if I will. So essentially we're just going to above Lake Hylia, so that we can just clip into there. No, he didn't get Gold Chew. There's a couple strats that you can do with Gold Chew, but those are documented well, and you're unlikely to get it during the run, so there's really no point in me showing off the strats. There's like a couple things that you can do, and I am good at only a couple of them. But if you got Gold Chew to drop from the middle there, you just run it over with Epona. I should have done an Epona slide there, by the way. You jump off Epona and grab it with the bottle. Anyways. Okay, so there's this wall here. And for some reason, there's like a seam here. So if you just do that, you just fall into the water. I made it look easier than it is. You want to line it up so that Link is kind of facing the corner. Like, so that he's facing the wall, right, directly, but that he's lined up so that his sword would go through about the corner, I think. It's probably not a very good way of explaining it, but that's the thing. Okay, here's Pillar Clip. You don't have to use boots, I just think it's easier to line it up. What you want to do is, I have my input display up, so you can go back and watch this if you want, but basically you just take off iron boots, start swimming, and then start going up. This is a terrible one, if this works. Yeah, didn't work. But basically, hopefully you get the camera to cooperate with you so that you can actually somewhat see where you're going. Like, this is okay. And then you want to go through, okay, there's like 2 parts where this pillar clips into the wall, like because it's, there's 2 parts of this wall, there's 2 sides to it, right? And there's 2 corners where it intersects with the wall. You want to line up with, like, the right one. So, let me see if I can show this again. And then you just keep swimming up, basically. I don't think you can change what you're doing at all. So, this right one, see that how I kind of went towards the right one? You want to be a little to the left of the right one. I did that poorly, but... like that. There you go. But you aim towards there. Essentially. Okay. So that's how you get in here without having water bombs. Which is nice, because otherwise you'd have to... I think you'd have to beat Goron Mines to get... wow, nice. To get Barnes to start stopping bombs, but I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, so the reason we emptied our bomb bag is because you can't. That chest won't hold water bombs. It'll hold normal bombs if you have normal bombs in your bag. Basically, its default is water bombs, and otherwise it'll match whatever you have in your bomb bag. So we want an empty bomb bag so that we can get water bombs from there, because we use them a few places where it's like useful to have specifically water bombs. Oh right, that's also true. But you'd have to get rupees for that, which is dumb. Also, anyways, what I just did there, I should go back and show that again, because I didn't really explain what the LJA was there. Right, so I aim like... okay, you see how there's this thing here? We want to jump attack so that we land here and then here. So I'm going to do a double LJA where I like aim here, and as soon as this is above that, I just jump attack twice. And if I do it right, then I'll end up on this thing. And you want to like stand at the top of this. You don't have to go as far forward or as far to the top as I'm doing right now. I'm just showing like ideally the height you'd get. Like you could probably walk to like this would be fine for sure. It doesn't even have to be this high up. And then you can just jump attack twice. So you again, the targets I used were the top left, like this thing on this door, and then the torch. And those generally work pretty well to do that double LJA up here and out of here. Otherwise, you can just target this wall somewhere, and as long as the boomerang is like above this part, then you should be able to jump up here if you have like decent height. Anyways, there's a lot of like LJs in here. So, anyways. Alright, so I'm not gonna move when I go through this door yet. There's a cutscene up here, right? Okay, which is fine, and we'll just skip the cutscene. But there's a double LJA we want to do here, which I can't really see up and look at. But we want to target roll twice, then side hop, and that'll put us in the right position. Otherwise, it's like a little finicky with the trick. Like, you can walk sort of into position. Sometimes it won't work. Okay, so I aimed. Okay. So you saw that target on the chandelier? So you see how these targets look, right? where they look like this, it's like an octagon. Okay, I targeted at the top left angled part of the octagon. And then I targeted on... Okay, you see how there's these things up here? These, like, little spire things? I targeted on the one that's up here. I did that a couple times. So once on the diagonal part of this, and once on the top of that thing. Except here. Or twice on there, right? And so, essentially, what they did is it made it so that when I jumped onto the railing. This is really hard to explain, I'm sorry. I jumped onto the railing with the first one, and then I was in position to jump down here with the second one because it was facing that way. I'd show it again, but I don't have claw shot, so I don't think I can get back up there without turning the bridge. You want to walk to, like, this top left edge-ish here, and then target, like, around here, and then around here. You just gotta make sure both of them are above this little, alcove thing, or whatever. The little roofed part. Because that way the boomerang is higher than you, and you can actually do the jump attack. I'm gonna try to do this little trick where you can, like, side hop really fast. I did not get it, though. Okay, so ideally what you do is you get the chest key, you side hop twice, you turn, you target right here really quickly, and then you jump attack. Like that, so that you get on this railing before the chews attack you. It's kind of hard to pull off, but you can just do it like that even, like, if you have to kill the chews, it's not that bad. You also don't want to bonk here. Okay. There's actually a pretty cool way to clip through this rock without using a water bomb, but it wastes a ton of time, so we're not going to do that. Just gonna blow it up. But if you ever skipped having a bomb bag in Lakebed, that's how it would be possible. Okay, so here's Deku Toad. So you see that he opens his mouth like that. That's because you can shoot bombs into there or throw them in there. Just like King Dodongo, basically. You can also slash him to get him to go up faster. You can see up to make him fall down faster. And normally you kill this guy with 3 full combo slashes. So yeah, he's like King Dodongo in that a bomb in his mouth will stun him. But 2 bombs to the tongue when he's down kill him. So you get him to fall down once because he doesn't actually... There's not enough time to get a bomb in his mouth, like, as soon as you get him to fall down, I don't think. Because you're just too far away. If you had a bomb arrow, you'd be able to do it. But since we don't have bomb arrows, we can't actually use an extra bomb to do that. So we just basically make him fall down. And that's really pretty easy. You just, like, target him, wait for his mouth to open, and throw the bomb in. And you can pull the bomb pretty much as soon as you throw the other bomb, because you'll have plenty of time to set it down. Okay. You just roll off here, pull out your sword in midair, and then jump onto the platform. There's a bunch of angles that works at. There's a couple that it doesn't work at. It's really not hard. You want to go over here because we're going to, like, just go partway up the stairs and then claw shot up here. The end goal is to basically clip through into the boss room without getting the boss key. It saves a bunch of time, so we don't have to get the stupid boss key. But first, we're actually going to do something that's HD exclusive, and I'll try to explain it by showing what's going on. Okay, so there's this gate actor, right? That, like, sometimes is up and sometimes is down. See how this is up right here? Okay, there's an identical gate in City in the Sky, and for some reason they made it so that only one of them can be loaded at the same time. Like, on the same power cycle. So if we were to go to City in the Sky right now, without turning off the Wii, or the Wii U, or, like, going out of the game, like closing software or whatever, I'll explain what I just did in a second, then the gate wouldn't be there. Okay, so I just claw shot it up to... Can I not put on iron boots? Thank you. So I just claw shot it up to there. I walked to, like, where my feet were right at the edge of that middle thing, while holding the same direction, and then I jumped off to the side and pulled out sword. And so, basically that puts me on this railing, which is what I want. And it doesn't put you at a precise spot on the railing, but it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna walk up to, like, right here, and we're gonna slash a couple times while holding Z target. I'm gonna backflip, and I walk too far backwards, but I think this should work. Okay, you see how there's, like, the scale that's right next to the brown part, or the gray part of the wall? Okay, you want that to be, like, touching the wall, basically. That specific scale, that's the cue. And now, hopefully I got decent positioning. Okay, yeah, I did. So you backflip 3 times, you walk upright a little bit, and then you just do a back hop like this. Kind of, except it doesn't do a backflip. Anyways, and you have iron boots on when you're falling in your... But that's boss key skip. It's just another thing that takes practice. It's not hard. You just want to angle yourself so that you won't fall off the railing, but you'll, like, slash down into the railing. It's not hard to do either. You just have to be, like, to the left side of the railing while doing it, basically. And sometimes it'll mess up and just cause you to slip off the railing, but it doesn't happen very often. Okay, what I just did there, you can pull the eye towards you immediately, and then side hop. And while you're doing the side hop, press B to pull out your sword. And then, as soon as you land, you do a jump slash quick spin. And almost 100% of the time, that will hit the eye, and you don't have to worry about it. So, it's definitely the best way to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna swim up kind of towards the eye here, and I'm gonna swim higher. And then I'm gonna put on iron boots and claw shot his eye. It's kind of hard to get that, but anyways. Okay, and then if he's swimming down like he is, what I can do is I'm going to force unequip the iron boots by equipping something that's not already equipped over the iron boots. Then I'm going to unpause, and then keep targeting and claw shot immediately. You can do that while equipping the iron boots again to do that twice, but I never get it if I do it that way. So I just... So, once you grab again, the second time he throws you up in the air, and then like swim down into the left, and then like after a second or two, I just try to target him and claw shot, and that usually works. Because he'll usually swim up into the left a little bit, but he launches you really far up, so it works pretty well. Yeah, and then you can just finishing blow this guy and he's dead. So, now we got the cutscene. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this heart too. This is another one that you can skip if you want to. It's just, you take a lot of damage in Palace of Twilight, so it's good to just grab as many heart containers as you can, pretty much. There's one that you specifically really want to grab, just because it's right before Palace. Like, if you don't grab the one before Palace, like the one after City in the Sky, you basically are shooting yourself in the foot super hard. You gotta go? Alright, we'll see ya. This will be up here later if you need the tutorial for anything. I'll have it highlighted, and I'll probably put it on YouTube or something. Alright, see ya, Branson. Alright, so we're gonna go get Master Sword now. So you just dash over to Castletown, basically. There's a lot of wolf movement, so it's not super hard, it's just... It can be annoying sometimes. It's also just kind of boring. But I'll show it anyways. And the segment's like 12 minutes long or something, so... I'll just try to get through it as fast as I can while explaining stuff as I go. And I'll see about doing Arbiter's Grounds if I feel like it. Alright. So if you just kind of hug the wall here, then that Bulbin Archer should never hit you. So again, dash canceling is still faster in Castletown. Nice. What am I doing? I thought somebody was going to talk to me there, so I was like trying to spam through text. Anyways, you run back up here, there's a cat. Louise, or whatever. I think the cat's name is Louise. Yep, I was right. And so she tells you that you gotta sneak into the sewers. Oh man. Push this box once, climb on top, jump, target, side hop, and that should put you in the right spot. It's just like movement optimizations. You can do it like more complicated than that if you want, but that's probably the fastest way to do it, so. Okay, when I'm right across this rope, I'm gonna press A to dash over this pot. Otherwise, you'll like drop and have to move this pot. You don't want to have to do that. You can walk towards this rope and it usually works, so. Ropes in this game are very annoying though, so like be wary of ropes. Grab the Poe. You can kill that Poe with a... Well, I guess you can't mid-charge, but you can do 2B attacks or 2 dash attacks. I usually do 2B attacks. I don't think either of them is significantly faster than the other though. And we just go through here, grab this rung, or ring, whatever it is. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. There's really no tricks going on here. I guess I can explain something here. So, if Link is looking at an enemy, he won't climb up anything. So you just want to kill the bats that are kind of close to you. when you're over here, you don't have to kill all of them, just the ones that are like kind of nearby, because otherwise Wolflink will be looking at them, and he won't climb this ledge, which you want him to climb. So you definitely want to kill them before you light the stick again. Alright, I messed that up. Yeah. So ideally, what happens here is you charge a spin attack, like right here, and then as he shoots at you, you spin and your tail knocks away the arrow, then you go over here and you dash at him and he'll fall into the water. And that's ideally what happens. But I messed it up. Oh well. You can jump attack at that. Please. You can jump attack at that Bolden to skip having to walk on so much of the rope. It's possible, it's just... I wouldn't recommend it. Because, like, if he's over this way, then you, like, sometimes jump off the ledge on the back end. Which usually he's further over that way when you jump at him. But a lot of people do it, so... I don't know. Here you can just hug the inside part of the ring here, and you should just automatically walk onto this rope. Okay, as soon as that guy moves forward, I have that as my cue to jump. I'm gonna like hold left here. You can jump attack at this guy as well. It's just sometimes you'll bonk, so it's risky. Okay, so there's an early wind cycle. I'm gonna try to hit it. But you can basically... So... There's like a platform that's only up when the wind is blowing up here. And you want to hit the earliest cycle you can on that. I'm probably not going to hit early cycle, but I'll show what you would do to like get it if you got it. So like I'm gonna miss it here because I'm too late. Just barely. But if you have better movement, you can get there in time, and then it looks something like this, where you're like dashing like so. And then you jump onto this, and then once you're on here, you dash off to this corner. You can just wait if you think you're not going to make it. Like, I should have waited on that last one, but I just wanted to show off what it looks like if you get it. And if you get it off the void, like, if you void, then you'll necessarily get it on the next time. Like, unless your movement's really terrible or something. So, yeah. Alright. Now we warp to go get Master Sword. Ugh. Oh, jeez. Alright, so the monkey's gonna show up here with some puppets. You wanna kill the puppets? Don't talk to the monkey again. It's pretty easy to do that. Oh, that's interesting. If you target the, your angle doesn't change when the bridge is turning. Okay, so you want to walk, like, right behind these logs as they pass, so... And usually, if you haven't totally messed up your movement, then you should be able to make, like, the cycle pretty easily. It's not, like... You don't really have to wait for anything, basically. You can kind of, like, have, Wolflink, like, go up and down there with his voice, just for show. It's kind of funny. I don't know. It doesn't save time, obviously. It's just funny. Okay, so this path, you just have to memorize it. It's the same every time. So you hit him the first time, and you go back to chase where he was coming from. Nice. I don't know why I tried to jump attack there. It's dumb. Oof. Alright. And technically, something that's interesting, if you go into the room where the Skull Kitty is, you could theoretically go back to the middle room, and then the door directly to this room is now open when it wasn't before. But that wastes a bunch of time. I used to do that because I thought that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's not how you're supposed to do it, because there's just doors that lead directly to the room you need to go to in order to get to the guy. It's just... whatever. Alright, so the first hit, you can just get him immediately, and the next two, you have to kill a puppet and wait a bit before he blows his horn. You can dash cancel off that. That's another thing. You can dash cancel by jumping off ledges in the first however many frames of your dash. Really? How did I miss that? That's dumb. Okay, well this doesn't look like how it's supposed to. Whatever. The nice thing about the Master Sword is that it refills your health, by the way. So it's kind of convenient, I guess. But basically, anything that could feasibly cancel your dash within the first however many frames. Oh my gosh, please. Will actually cause the dash cancel. Please actually hit the school kid. Alright, there we go. It's so dumb. Oh man. Oh man, the infamous Master Sword puzzle. That's super easy. There's actually several valid solutions to this that like start in different ways, but I think this one's the fastest. So go left and then down, and you can, there's like one frame where you can get sentences to pop up in between each of these jumps. Okay, then you jump up to this circle thing, then you jump over to the other circle thing. And you go all the way down, and then you go back to where you started by going left up. Well, theoretically, you could go up left. It doesn't really matter. Once you get into this corner, if you go back to where you started, you're good. Oh wait, no, you definitely need to go left up. I'm wrong. This left up for sure at the end. Anyways. Well, I made it to Master Sword. I think that's good for now. I'll come back at some point and do the rest of the run. But I think I explained most of this stuff sufficiently. I don't know, I might go back and do like tutorials for individual tricks eventually, but or commentated tutorials at least, but I think this is good for now. So we'll come back and do Arbiter Translator. I was going to do it now, but I'm kind of tired, and also post skip is going to take a bit of explaining, and I probably need to do some more testing on that anyways, so we'll just come back with this save later. So, see you guys.